If you're a gym owner, this video might be the most important video that you watch because I'm gonna walk you through the most profitable gym business model in 2025 and the exact system that has helped scale gyms to over $100,000 a month without needing tens of thousands of square feet, thousands of members, or selling your soul. For context, my name is Cale Owen. I am the CEO here at Gym Launch, and for almost a decade now, we have helped over 6,000 gyms around the world build a more profitable business model using the systems that are in here, but these are a little bit more advanced and ready for 2025. So let's get into it. All right, let's start with the problem. Problem is that most large group training facilities have been sold a lie by the industry. And they've been told that they need to use a business model where they look around at all the gyms around them and they look at their price point and they either go a little bit above or a little bit below, and then they offer unlimited memberships. The problem is that this type of gym that uses this model is going to reach a point where their max capacity of members is going to be well before they ever reach profitability, based on the amount of revenue and members that they can have. And I'll give you an example of this. We have surveyed over 30,000 gym owners in the time that we have been around for almost a decade now. And the average membership rate per month for most of the gyms that we look at is $120 per month. Now this is for large group training facilities. Most of them have a class capacity of around 16 people. So let's just say 16 person cap, $120 a month. Let's say this gym that we're looking at right now has 100 members currently. Well, with unlimited memberships, and let's just say 85% of their members show up on a weekly basis, that means that their actual cap is 134 members. That's the most that they can have. That's with 7 sessions per day. That's a lot of sessions. So 134 people is the cap. At $120 a month, that means from a revenue perspective, they're going to be capped out at $16,000 a month. Then when you take away your expenses, everything from rent to trainer pay, to miscellaneous, to broken equipment, to marketing if you're doing any marketing, to any of your random subscriptions that you have, and then you leave a little bit for yourself as owner pay, maybe it's $1,500, maybe it's $2,000 a month, there's no actual profit for the business left over. And again, it's not your fault. The fault is the actual model. I remember sitting there in my gym struggling for so long thinking I am working all of the time in my business. I am trying everything I possibly can. I even have my morning sessions packed. I have my evening sessions packed, but for some reason I'm not profitable. And this was in my first gym. And I remember looking at my partner and be like, something is broken here. That's because the model is broken. It has nothing to do with effort, has nothing to do with hard work. It's because the model is broken, all right? And this is the life of so many gym owners. And I wanna show you a better way. So let's get into how you actually fix this. And the solution is very simple. The solution is you allow people that want to pay you more to actually pay you more, to increase the average revenue per member per month so that you can make more money on average across all of your members. So you don't have to go get another space. So you don't have to add so many sessions. So you don't have to pay your trainers more. So you don't have to do all of these different things. It literally comes down to structuring your business model with the types of memberships that you offer and the pricing with different levels, or as I'm about to show you, different layers of what we call the wedding cake gym profit model. By offering these different layers, it allows you to be able to grow and be profitable so much faster. In fact, the gyms that actually use this from day one can be profitable within the first month by doing this the right way. And so the reason that this model is broken is because most of the time it comes down to the average revenue per month of the members, and it's too low, whether that's through a fixed price or you have different things like discounts and everything else, because at the end of the day, this number isn't enough. We have to increase this. And so this model typically doesn't take into account 2 very important things when we think about business overall. One is buying curves, meaning that there are people, members of this current hypothetical gym, that are willing and able to pay more money for a higher level of service or other add-on, bolt-on different types of cross-sells, things like supplements, apparel, and everything else that aren't actually offered. And then the other thing besides buying curves is take into account this thing that we like to call spending wallets, because everyone has different almost spending wallets that they're willing to pay money for in different areas of their life. I'll give you an example of this. In a gym, someone goes to the gym, right? They have their gym membership, whatever that price point is. Then you think about it and they're like, well, you know what? My goal is to lose weight. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna grab some supplements. Well, they go and they get supplements. And for this gym doesn't offer those. So they can't actually capture that revenue or profit because that person goes and spends their money elsewhere. Then there's things like apparel. You know what? I wanna go to Lululemon, I wanna go to Alo, I wanna go to whatever, and I'm gonna go buy and spend $100, $200, $400 a month on new apparel because I wanna look nice, I wanna look good, and I wanna feel like I'm working out. right? And I want to fit in with everybody else because everyone else is wearing workout clothes. Well, guess what? If I was selling a version of those or workout apparel at my facility, I would be able to capture that revenue and that profit, which again, all of these things would increase this number, which would allow me to be able to get to a point of profitability without actually adding any more members. And this is so important, is thinking about there's 3 ways to grow a business. I can get more customers, I can keep them longer, or I can make them worth more to me. And the model that I'm gonna walk you through is obviously predicated on you getting more members in, but it's showing you how to make sure that every single member that you have, you're maximizing the revenue that you're able to make and therefore the profit that you're able to pull from each member. Why is this important? You're like, Cale, you're talking about money. Well, here's the deal. I'm talking about money because if you don't make money, you don't have a business. You have a nonprofit. If you're not making money, you might as well go ahead and go get another job and quit your gym. I'm dead serious because I was there. And I'm so serious about this because there are so many incredible gym owners out there. You are probably one of them that care so deeply about your clients and you are willing to give everything to them. But the problem is that if you don't make enough money over a certain amount of time, at some point, your wife is gonna tell you to give it up. Or someone else is gonna tell you to give it up. Or your kids are gonna be complaining about not having enough money for college. And they are gonna tell you to give it up because you're gonna be forced to go and do something else. And what I want for every single gym owner is to understand that there is a way to make a good amount of money, a lot of money inside of a gym, but more importantly, you can still impact so many lives. And the best part about all of this is that if you actually use the model that I'm about to show you, and actually dip into the wallets of the people that are willing and able to spend that money, you will get better results across your entire gym. So your clients will love you, they'll stay longer, you'll make more money. It's a win-win-win across the board. So here's how we solve for that to make a gym way more profitable. And this model that I'm about to walk you through is the wedding cake gym profit model. And this is something that we've been using literally for almost a decade to help build massively profitable gyms. What's cool about this is by the end of this, you'll get to the point and you'll see all that revenue, you can be profitable all the way through. It actually doesn't matter if you get all the way to the top. You're gonna be profitable if you do this right from the beginning. But first, when we look at this, this is a 5-layer cake, and it's the easiest way to describe how this works. On this side, you see this line down the middle, on this side is what we call icing. Icing means front-end cash. Front-end cash is the money that you collect day one when someone signs up for a program. So let's be clear about that. The cake side is over here, and we use the cake to basically allude to EFT, or reoccurring revenue, MRR. And everyone loves this part because we want to stack this. But what's interesting is that most people forget about this side. And this side can add considerable amounts of revenue every single month, and it solves a cash flow problem. We can't have one without the other because if we just have one, it's going to take too long to grow. And if we have just icing, we're going to have no EFT. We're going to have to keep selling all the time. We want both. And we want each layer of the cake to have both a front-end cash collected side and a reoccurring side because we want to stack monthly reoccurring revenue. All right, on the large group side, on the icing, so front-end cash, we want to be collecting front-end cash. It's the easiest way to stack. So when we do this, we're going to be looking at doing some sort of front-end defined program, whether that is a 28-day, 6-week, or 8-week program. You can even go up to 12 weeks if you want to. The price point that you're gonna wanna be charging is anywhere between $3.99 to roughly $9.99. Here, again, you need the right advertising, you need the right sales approach, the right pricing. If you do this correctly, you're gonna be selling anywhere between 15 to 20 people or more every single month using the right model. I mean, that's what we do here at Gym Launch. This is what our clients are able to do. So you're selling 15 people at, let's say, $6.99. For a front-end defined program, whatever that is, right? Which, by the way, is extremely easy to do. So that would equal roughly $10,500 a month. So already we're at $10,500 a month. We're already halfway to where the average gym is in America right now. But that's just on the front-end side. Then as we begin to convert them, we start moving over to the EFT side. And this side is we want to stack over time. Now notice I have not started implementing any other section of this entire layer yet. I am only working on this layer right now. Let's start on the large group side. So on the large group side, icing with a front end offer, when we think about how much cash we're collecting, we're always going to want to have some sort of front end defined offer. It's usually by far the best way to not only attract people, but also collect enough cash to offset your acquisition costs, create a profit, and solve any cash flow problems you might have. That could be a 28-day, a 6-week, an 8-week program. It really doesn't matter. What matters is making sure that we're getting enough people in and we're actually closing them at somewhere between $3.99 to $9.99. I've had people selling it at $12.99. Doesn't really matter. But let's just say you're doing this, you're selling 15 people at $6.99 for a 6-week or 8-week program, that would mean that you're collecting in front-end cash $10,500, right? Because day one, they're paying you roughly $700 to sign up, and now you're collecting $10,500. That's just the icing. So that's the front-end cash. Now that's gonna take us over to the cake side. Now we talk about stacking monthly reoccurring. So now on the EFT side, our goal is to get to 150 reoccurring members by scaling this. All we're doing is the simple stuff. We're just acquiring new members, getting them going, providing a great service, and keeping them. We're not even worried about anything else except for the top layer, which I'll get to when we get to the end. But when we get to 150 members at $210 a month, which would be $49 a week, by the way, at $49 a week, that gives us $210. We're at $31,500 a month in reoccurring revenue just from this side, just from the EFT side. So add that with the $10,500, this layer alone, we're at $42,000 a month. Just right there. That's basically almost double what the average gym in the US does. But this is just one layer. So now let's talk about the second layer. The next layer is semi-private. That's what the SP stands for, semi-private. And what I mean by a semi-private model is that you are having 6, 5, or 4 members for every one coach. So that is the max capacity in a session is 6 members. And so it is much higher priced. And on the front end, when you're selling this, you're selling a front end defined program, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks. And the beautiful part about this, by the way, is that you can take some of those 150 down the road if you wanted to, and then just move them right into this, and then transfer them directly into the cake side, which I'll get into. But you can sell this right off the bat. So when people come in, whether it's for this or for this, you can upsell them directly into semi-privates. So let's say, for example, you're charging anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000, and here you sell 5 a month at $2,000 a piece. That's $10,000 a month in front-end cash collected. Here's what's really cool. It's like this doesn't stop cranking because this is your large group section. This is layer 1. It doesn't stop cranking. We still try to do this, but once you add on the next layer, you have the ability to now upsell people. And so let's just say you still are selling 15 people, now you're selling an additional 5 into this. All of a sudden, you're doing over $20,000 a month in front-end cash collected alone, which is really cool. And that's the whole point of this, is that you're able to now stack these and add these on. Real quick caveat on all of this. Does this happen overnight? No. There's a reason why we started with this and getting to 150 members. We need to get there first, and then we can start bolting on the next section. And so this is the front-end cash side. $10,000 a month, you're selling 5 people at $2,000 for a front-end offer. Now we move into the cake side. On the cake side, we've got the EFT. The goal here is to continue to stack this EFT on the semi-private. So the goal here is you can get to 40, 50, 60, however many you have based on the capacity in your space. But let's say you get to 50 people. 50 people at $500 a month, because it is, again, higher price. We're accommodating for people that are willing and able to pay more for a service because they want more attention. They want smaller group classes. Maybe they want added nutrition, accountability, whatever it might be. All of a sudden, now you're making $25,000 a month in just reoccurring revenue. You add that with the $10,000 on the front end, that's an extra $35,000 that we add to the $42,000, which brings us to $77,000 a month. Now, for many of you, you might be like, cool, Cale, we're done. I'm good. I'm just going to do these 2. And that's great. But guess what? There's more that you can do. So let's walk into the next section. The next section is what we call hybrid. Now, this is what we used way back in the day. Basically, what it means is custom nutrition and accountability. Bear with me here. You've probably over time gotten people that have been like, you know what, I love what you do. It's too far to go to your gym, or I'm moving, but I still would love to get workouts. I'd still love to get nutrition guidance. I'd still love to get some accountability to help me on my goals. Or you have clients that are currently a part of your gym that you already give free nutrition advice to and you've transformed their life. But guess what? There's going to be people just like this level that have the money and the ability, the means, the capacity to pay you for that. And this is where you are able to now charge for it. And this is what's crazy. Once you start charging people for things, they actually start paying attention and they become your best clients because now they're fully invested in it. And so as they invest, they get better results. And with this, all it is just simply providing them custom nutrition, could be macros, could be custom nutrition plans. It's really around providing nutritional help. And this is really important within a gym because there's 3 things that need to happen in order for people to see life-changing results. They're gonna need obviously the fitness side, so they gotta work out in some capacity. Then there's the nutrition side. They have to make sure that they're eating well, they're tracking their macros, they're tracking their calories, calories in, calories out, based on their goals and what they wanna do. And then the third one is accountability. And that's a big piece. With this, you can use this to sell this on the front end because there's going to be people as you start to grow, and there's a reason why this is the third one, you start to grow, you're gonna have people that are like, you're doing something right. I wanna be a part of this, but maybe I'm not local. Or maybe I do go to a health club. I've heard you guys are exceptional in transformations and I want to be a part of that. You can start selling these for $399 to $5,000 on the front end for 6-week, 12-week, 26-week, even 52-week packages. I have people right now that I know that are online that are selling $5,000 packages for 6 months for online. It's very simple to do. And you provide life-changing results through nutrition and accountability. So let's say you just start adding 5 people at $1,000. Now every month you're adding $5,000 in front-end cash. Just in front-end cash alone, you're doing basically $25,000 a month in front-end cash. And that's before we even get into the reoccurring side. On the cake side, we got the reoccurring revenue. What's cool is you can add people into reoccurring monthly revenue on this. And most of the time what we have seen is $77 per week is the price point that can work really well, which works out to basically $330 a month. Well, over time, you're gonna stack 30, 40, 50, some people have stacked 80, 100 members on this level of membership. And so at 40, you're doing $13,200 per month. Now that brings your entire total to $95,200. We are well past the $1 million mark and we're not done yet. Here's what's really cool about this thing with hybrid is that you can also pull from these other members. Usually I'd like to say with semi-private, go ahead and just include it in this, but for the large group, it's not included. So you can upsell people into this that maybe don't want to pay the semi-private amounts because maybe their max capacity is $330 a month, but they do want to have access to you for custom nutrition and accountability or your coaches. And so now you're again allowing yourself to meet those demands that your marketplace has without having to price out everybody else, because if they can't afford it, that's fine. They still have this level right here and they're going to get great results. They're going to have accountability, you're going to have community, you're going to have all these really cool things. But for the people that want to pay you more, they have the ability to do that. And so now you can pull from this first layer and bring it all the way up to here so that now instead of just collecting $210 a month, you're now collecting $330 a month. Now, what a lot of people will typically ask me is like, cool, this sounds great, but how in the world do I actually get people from layer number 1, large group, into the next layer or the third layer? Well, this is where the fourth layer comes into play. This is a very simple way that you can take people here and basically use what we call an internal play to bring them up into the next level. So let's walk through that right now. So on internal plays, what I mean by that are things like seminars, challenges, specialty programs. There's a whole list of those things. I remember in my gym, when we started cranking and we started doing a lot better, we started adding in, we had people that wanted to do an Olympic weightlifting seminar or basically specialty program, or we had people that want to do a powerlifting one, or people that want to do a running one. There's all these different options, and that doesn't even include things that are seminars around weight loss, nutrition, all those things that go into fitness and nutrition and accountability and all those things. And you can bring in outside people as well, but the whole point is you can start adding these on and bolting these on at $49 to $199 when you run these. Now, depending on the length of time and what you want to do, you could increase that price point if you wanted to. I know some gyms that will run a 12-week Olympic weightlifting program for $499 to $1,000 as a add-on to a membership. So all of that's possible, but I'm gonna be very realistic here. And let's say every month you're doing one and you're getting 20 people to, whether it's just a seminar or you're adding in a paid challenge. And so it averages out per month over the course of the year to $1,000 in front-end cash that you collect. But here's the kicker. This is really important because you use this as an opportunity to upsell your members into layer 2 and layer 3. Because what you do is you give them a taste of what it's like in layer 2 and layer 3 with semi-private and hybrid, and you then just simply invite them to keep going. And that's where the EFT comes into play. Now on this EFT side, again, this just becomes a feeder system. What you're gonna do is you're gonna have these specialty programs that allow someone in layer 1 or level 1, or sometimes even level 3 where they're doing hybrid and you want to get them into semi-private. What you do is you're allowing them the opportunity to get a taste of it, and then you use it as an upsell. And what's great is that if they get a taste of it for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it might be, you have the opportunity to bring them in. And usually if you do this the right way, you can do 20 to 30% of the people that actually attend those to upsell them into semi-private or hybrid. And while it might not seem like a ton of money here, it's the feeder system internally to get you to these numbers right here. So while this front-end cash or this monthly revenue side doesn't jump a lot, that $1,000 is just the gateway to making sure that you're getting to that $77,000, $95,000, $100,000 a month mark. And now let's talk about the last layer. Now the last layer is the only one that I would suggest should start at the very bottom when you're doing this one. The reason why I put it at the top is because it's one of the most important ones, and think of it almost like as a waterfall that flows through everything that you have. And it's a really, really important piece to this, especially when we think about spending wallets and people going out and buying things. Whether it's products, supplements, apparel, whatever it might be, that falls into the top layer of the cake, which then is a waterfall effect into every single layer, because this is where you add on extra revenue and profit to every single member in each of these programs. So let's walk through that right now. So on the product/supplement side, I'm just gonna stick with supplements because product sales can, with apparel and everything, can just fluctuate. There's so many variables on that. But on the supplement side, it's very easy to actually predict. If you are doing this on the front end, which you should be, whether it's just adding it to a membership sign up or doing what we suggest, which would be an onboarding or nutrition orientation session after you sign someone up for the service, you should be selling everyone on subs. And let's just say you're selling 75% of the people that sign up onto supplements. Now, when you do this, you should be selling bundles, not just ones and twos. You should be selling 4, 6, 12, whatever is possible there to set them up for success. And remember, these individuals are going to be going out and buying supplements somewhere else. So do you want them going to an influencer that's telling them the wrong stuff? Do you want them going to GNC and being sold literally the worst stuff that doesn't matter to them? Or do you want them going and doing their own research on Amazon and trying to figure it out? You're the person that's going to be closest to their fitness and the accountability side, and you're closest to them when it comes to goals and coaching. You should also be the person that gives them that advice and points them in the right direction. Does this mean that you should just use one supplement brand? No. In fact, we've seen the most success when people use multiple supplement brands because it creates more trust and it provides a lot of variety, just like this, for your members. But I will have a quick plug. You should definitely use Prestige Labs as one of your options. The reason why is we will train you for free. It's free to be an affiliate, and we will teach you how to sell high ticket subs completely for free. And for all products except for protein, which you get 20%, for all products you get 40% commission, and we pay out 4 times a month. So it's a dropship model. You can also do wholesale if you want to. Now, this is for North American gyms, and all you have to do if you want to become a free affiliate, there's a link down below. Hit that, go become an affiliate, and start crushing it. Either way, back to this. So you're selling this, selling 75% of people, $300 bundles. That's $4,500 in front-end cash. Now, here's a really cool part about supplements, is that supplements can be very, very sticky when done right. And so now what this does is this transfers over into the cake side, and we can talk about the reoccurring revenue. On the cake side, the monthly reoccurring, goal here is to get as many people as possible onto your reoccurring. Perfect goal would be like 60, 70% of your members are constantly on some sort of supplement. But if you can get 30% of your members into a bundle, which is definitely doable, by the way, especially if you're constantly doing internal plays, you obviously have these upsells and semi-private, everything else. By keeping them on these bundles at $200, that adds an extra $14,000 in revenue to your business. This is what's really cool about this. It takes all of this, when you combine this, from $96,200 to $114,700. This is the absolute best part about this entire model, is that even if you don't have cross between these memberships, at most, you have 240 members in your gym. 240 members. That's it. We're not talking about 1,000 members. We're not talking about even 500 members. We're talking about running a $114,000 business per month, $114,000 per month gym with 240 members. And that's the power of this, is that you are able to now take a broken model just by allowing yourself the ability to go and meet people where they are, offer them something that they are willing to pay for, and create different types of offers and stack these up. You now are able to create a wildly successful gym by using this model. Now, caveat and disclaimer here, go and do this, but there's no guarantee that you're actually gonna make this money if you don't actually follow the pricing and actually put in the work. I have talked to so many gym owners and they're like, I tried this, and it's like they stuck here and they just did this, but then they got to 75 members, they got distracted and they started a meal prep company. Or they got to 100 members and they started doing this, but they weren't at a point with their team, resources, and everything else, and revenue-wise, where they could actually start semi-private. So they got distracted, and what happened? It dipped. The key here is that you move up every single level of this cake once you have each one sustainable and in a good place with true ownership over it. This is also why most gyms never actually get here, is because it's really hard. You have to actually nail the first thing. But once you get to here, the next one's actually really, really easy, because we have a play called the golden ticket upsell, which you can take 20 to 30 members just from their large group and move them directly into your semi-private and start off with 30 members in 8 weeks, just like that, while you're also still selling people into your large group training. And so all of this takes into account, obviously, that you get to this point, you have a great service, you have good retention to a point, and you're also continue to sell people into these. And by offering all of these, this is how you build a wildly profitable gym in 2025. Now, you might be looking at this and be like, this is insane. This is a lot of money. This would be great. Well, guess what? Guaranteed way, if you're happy with $77,000 a month, guaranteed way to get to $77,000 a month is to hit 96 or 114,000, because you know what? You're gonna pass by it and you're guaranteed to hit it. So for those of you that are in a place where you're struggling, you're banging your head against the wall, you're working all the hours, and you want something more in your business, we teach gym owners how to install this wedding cake gym profit model into their business. Now you can try on your own, and please, I highly suggest that you do. But if you are struggling and you want help installing this, and you want to work on the other side of how do I get more people so that I can get them onto the icing side and collect more front-end cash, we do that as well. So if you want that, there's a link down below. You can book a call with our team, see if you qualify. And listen, I know that this is a lot of stuff. So what I did is I went ahead and I had our team put together just a downloadable image that walks through every single one of these. So you have this in case it's hard to see for you, or in case you're like, hey, this is way too fast. I got to look at it for a long time and see it, and you don't want to pause the video. So that's down below. There's a link down below. You can download that image. It's for y'all. But either way, no matter what, go and start building these layers, start charging more, start changing your memberships, and go out and change more lives and build a wildly profitable business. But either way, I hope you found some value in this. Please go do this. If you are struggling, add more layers to the cake at the right time with the right pricing, and you will become way more profitable. I'll see you on the next video.